The Sahara Desert, the largest and one of the most enigmatic deserts in the world, is a vast expanse of sand and rock that stretches across North Africa. The Sahara covers an area of approximately 9.2 million square kilometers. In comparison, the United States has an area of about 9.8 million square kilometers. Thus, the USA is slightly larger than the Sahara, though both areas are of similar magnitude. It is a land full of secrets, from ancient civilizations buried beneath its sands to mysterious geological formations that defy easy explanation. Among these many secrets, one stands out as particularly extraordinary: the Richat Structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. Located in the Mauritanian part of the desert, this massive and intriguing formation has captivated the imagination of scientists, historians, and explorers for decades. The structure was first brought to global attention during the Gemini 4 mission in June 1965, when astronauts James McDivitt and Edward White spotted it from space. As they orbited the Earth, the astronauts noticed the unusual circular formation in the Sahara Desert and captured images of it. These photographs highlighted the striking and unusual appearance of the structure, leading to increased scientific interest and study. What is this mysterious structure? How did it form, and could it be linked to the legendary Atlantis? Let's dive into the facts, theories, and speculations surrounding this fascinating natural wonder. The Richat Structure, visible even from space, appears as a giant bullseye in the vast expanse of the Sahara Desert. Its unique shape consists of a series of concentric circles, resembling an enormous eye, which has earned it the nickname Eye of the Sahara. The structure is located near the town of Ouaddain in Mauritania. It spans approximately 40 kilometers, 25 miles in diameter. The circular patterns are made up of different layers of rock that have been exposed by erosion. The structure is composed of sedimentary rock, including limestone, sandstone, and volcanic rocks, which date back to the Proterozoic era. We have a couple of theories of the nature creation of those structures proposed over the years. One of the earliest theories suggested that the structure was created by a massive meteorite impact, given its circular shape. However, the lack of evidence, such as shocked quartz or high-pressure minerals, led scientists to abandon this hypothesis. Also, humans know a lot of crater formation on the Earth, on the Moon, and even on Mars, and no one looks like a Richat structure. Another theory speculates that the Richat structure might have been formed by volcanic activity. The presence of volcanic rocks in the region supports this idea, but the absence of a central volcanic vent or caldera makes this unlikely. The most common theory today is that the Richat structure is the result of a geologic dome that eroded over millions of years. The dome was probably formed by the uplift of ancient rock layers, followed by the gradual erosion of softer materials, leaving behind harder and more stable rocks in the shape of a circle. In other words, the whole structure resembles a pimple on the body of the Sahara. But this theory, although it is the most accepted official belief of formation, raises many questions for me. If this is a natural formation, why has mankind not found similar formations anywhere else in the world on the Earth, Moon, and Mars? Mankind knows many old geologic formations that have undergone erosion, but none of them have several circles so similar to walls. We can look at a few examples of geologic erosion, but nothing similar. One of the most intriguing and speculative theories about the Richat structure is its possible connection to the legendary lost city of Atlantis, as described by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. According to Plato's dialogues Timaeus and Critias, Atlantis was a powerful and advanced civilization located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, often identified with the Strait of Gibraltar. It was believed to be a huge island larger than Libya and Asia Minor combined, with a central city surrounded by concentric rings of water and land. For better understanding, Libya alone is 2.6 times the size of the state of Texas. What is remarkable is the comparison with Libya, which, like the Richat structure, is located in northern Africa, most of whose territory is located in the Sahara Desert, which indirectly suggests that these states were neighbors. The capital city was described as having alternating rings of water and land, a feature that some proponents of the Atlantis Richat theory find strikingly similar to the appearance of the Richat structure. Some researchers and enthusiasts believe that the Richat structure matches Plato's description of Atlantis, pointing to its circular rings, large size, and location in northwest Africa as evidence. They argue that the once green Sahara could have supported a thriving civilization thousands of years ago before a cataclysmic event, possibly a flood or desertification, led to its downfall. The location of the Richat structure in Mauritania fits within the broad geographic region that could be considered beyond the Pillars of Hercules, depending on ancient navigation routes. Mainstream historians and geologists are generally skeptical of this theory, pointing out that there is no direct archaeological evidence linking the Richat structure to an ancient civilization as advanced as Atlantis. The structure's formation is also estimated to be much older than the timeline suggested by Plato for Atlantis. Let's think about this in a little more detail. Plato lived in the 4th century BC, roughly 427–347 BC. According to his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, Atlantis existed about 9,000 years before his time. This means that Plato was recounting events that he claimed took place around 11,000–10,000 BCE. Thus, if Plato's description is to be believed, Atlantis existed about 9,000 years before his time, which means that about 9,000 years elapsed between the alleged existence of Atlantis and the time of Plato's life. Could Plato have been wrong about what he was relying on to determine the date of Atlantis's existence? We have many questions, but to say that the structure does not fit the description of Atlantis because it is much older than Plato's dating when Plato dated it 9,000 years later seems to me a very weak argument in this discussion. What we can say quite definitely is that once opened, the structure clearly attracts quite a bit of attention. Over the years, the Richat structure has been the subject of various scientific expeditions, aiming to understand its origins and the broader geological history of the Sahara. Theodore Monod, 1960s, a French geologist and naturalist who was one of the first to study the Richat structure in detail during the 1960s. He suggested that this geological formation might have a volcanic origin. Jean-René Boissonnas, 1970s, a Swiss geologist who researched the chemical composition of the rocks within the Richat structure and supported the theory that it was not the result of a meteorite impact but had a geological origin. Robert B. Fudali, 1976. An American geologist who studied the Richat structure and concluded that it was likely an erosional structure rather than an impact crater. NASA, 1965–2000s. The Gemini 4 Inches mission in 1965 brought attention to the Richat structure from space. Since then, NASA has continued studying the structure, using satellite images and modern technology to analyze its geological characteristics. Archaeological interest. Although no definite archaeological evidence has been found in the Richat structure itself, the surrounding region has been of interest to archaeologists studying ancient trade routes and settlements in the Sahara. I would like to draw your attention to this statement from official sources. If the formation is natural, why should archaeological research be carried out in it? Let us remind you that archaeology is the science of the heritage of mankind. What is more interesting is that there is no more detailed information about who was conducted and how they came to such conclusions. The role of the Sahara's climate. The current appearance of the Richat structure is largely due to the arid climate of the Sahara, which has persisted for thousands of years. However, during the Green Sahara period, some 10,000 years ago, the region was much wetter and could support a human population. This climatic shift may have given rise to legends of civilizations lost in the desert. What is remarkable is that 10,000 years ago roughly coincides with Plato's dating, which is further evidence that the structure is not as simple as it seems to many. Another layer of intrigue surrounding the Richat structure is its potential connection to the mythological figure Atlas, who plays a significant role in the story of Atlantis. According to Plato, Atlantis was ruled by 10 kings, each ruling a different part of the empire. The first king, Atlas, was the eldest son of Poseidon, the god of the sea. Atlas got the central part of the island, which included the city of Atlantis itself. Since then, his name has been associated with strength and endurance, as reflected in the myth of him holding up the sky. Not much is known about the other 9 sons, only their names. Gadiris, also known as Eumelus in Greek, Atlas's twin brother, Amphoris, Euaemon, Menaeus, Autochthon, Elasippus, Mestor, Azes, Diaprepes. The name Atlas is also found in the region surrounding the Richat Structure, notably in the Atlas Mountains, which stretch across Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia in North Africa. This mountain range, named after the same mythological figure, further deepens the connection between the myths of Atlantis and the geography of North Africa. Some researchers have speculated that the use of the name Atlas for both the King of Atlantis and the mountain range might not be coincidental. They suggest that ancient stories of powerful civilizations in North Africa, possibly including the Richat Structure, could have influenced the myth of Atlantis. In addition to the mythological connections, Mauritania, where the Richat Structure is located, was historically linked to the Berber-speaking peoples who lived throughout North Africa. The Berbers, also known as the Amazigh, have legends and stories that sometimes align with the myths of ancient lost cities. Some believe that these tales could be echoes of real ancient civilizations that once thrived in the region, perhaps even inspiring parts of the Atlantis legend. Berber mythology includes stories of a great and powerful kingdom that existed in the distant past, located in a fertile and prosperous land that is now lost beneath the sands of the Sahara. These myths speak of advanced cities and thriving cultures that were eventually consumed by natural disasters, leaving behind only ruins buried in the desert. While these stories may be more myth than history, they reflect a deep cultural memory of a time when the Sahara was a much different environment, one that might have inspired tales of lost civilizations like Atlantis. The Richat Structure, with its striking concentric rings and mysterious origins, continues to be the subject of fascination for scientists, historians, and adventurers. Whether it is a naturally occurring geological feature or a relic of a vanished civilization like Atlantis. As research continues, the Richat Structure may one day reveal more of its secrets, shedding light not only on its formation, but also on the broader history of the Sahara Desert. For now, it remains one of the most intriguing sites in the Sahara Desert, around which there are somehow already so many strange historical coincidences. What can be said for sure, the African continent has many unsolved mysteries, and the Sahara, as the largest part of the world covered with sand, is one of them. In the Sahara, among the many unexplained phenomena, the Richat Structure takes an honorable leading place.